Silly. Oh, yep, uh-huh, yep, uh-huh, yep, yep. Yep, good.
My name is Caleb. I'm 20 years old.
My name is Caleb. I am female to male transgender, and my pronouns are he, him.
This is my coming out video. So, let's get it poppin'. I am female to male transgender, pre-T. I am starting testosterone on October 31st, which is Halloween 2018, and I am super excited. I want you guys to come on this journey with me.
If I'm out in a public situation and nobody knows me, they're not really gonna ask me questions because they're just like, this is a passing cis individual. But if somebody knows that I'm trans, they might have like, like general questions. And then there's some questions that are a bit NSFW that make me a little, how'd you get started? Where do you go? Like, what sort of syringes do you need? What sort of needles do you need? Like, how do you inject? Where do you inject? And like, what spots are good to inject? And I'm just like, realistically, I cannot answer those questions because I am not a licensed professional and I can't answer those for you. I'm sorry. I can only tell you my experience and I can, give you tips and tricks, but I can't tell you exactly what to do. The best thing to do is always go to your doctor for those answers because they know more than I do. I promise. HRT is hormone replacement therapy. I did 5 years of shots. Once a week. And it was a little traumatizing. Like, think about it as having a COVID shot every week for 5 years straight to get to where I'm at today. So now I'm on gel, so I just put it on like lotion. So that's a lot nicer.
I identified as a lesbian for a very, very long time, but I was a very, very extremely masculine lesbian, and people were like, oh, like, you go by he, him pronouns, like, are you trans? I'm like, no, not at all. But, like, in the back of my mind, I was like, yeah, no, like, I'm trans.
My living situation was complicated. I grew up Baptist Christian, so coming out, I had to come out multiple times. It was, I'm gay, I'm non-binary, I'm bisexual, I'm this, I'm the third, like everything under the sun. Realistically, it wasn't a rainbow. I was tasting the Skittles, It was a lot.
Yeah, like, I like girls, so I identified back then as a female. And I was like, yeah, like, I like girls, so I must be gay. Cool. Makes it easy. It's like, no, like, I'm a guy, I've always been a guy, I've known that. But now there's something called testosterone, and it's super awesome.
I had to do it alone. I had to start my transition on Halloween 2018. Nobody taught me how to go about like certain things I had to ironically learn through, which is not what I would advise. But sorry, I'm laughing because it's just so, I had to learn through the internet, let's just keep it at that. And I had to learn through movies, like how to socially interact with other social groups to be accepted in those groups and understand like, oh, this is what they're talking about. Yeah, no, I get that. Yeah, no, like that makes sense. But then also, then I had to do that mental switch of like, oh my gosh, like I love your nail color. Like that's great. But then I'm like, oh, yeah, uh-huh, yeah, no, cool, bro. Yeah, like the switch. Like, and I had to do the switch and just like, yeah, no. It's just like, yeah, no. Like, oh, you saw the game last night? Cool. And then, oh my God, like the necklace, girly pop, yes, what? No, yeah, for sure, yeah. Like the whole switch. So it's like that sort of energy. It's just like what is accepted and like what's not. So nobody really taught me how to do that. It did take a lot of time, and there was a lot of emotional breaks that, you know, both of us had, but we learned to come together and understand one another and other, like each other's views. So it was a lot, but yeah. But I really do appreciate the time that they took and the effort that they put in to understand. But it was a lot. It was a battle. It was hard.
You still are the terms with him?
Yes.
Good. Awesome.
Yeah. Thank you. It can be a shocker for some people. Yeah, I get that. But it's like, hey, like I'm starting some new medication. I had to mask. I was going as she, her. And that's not what I identified with, but I had to do that to not only protect myself, but visually it was what people perceived me as, and that's not what I saw myself as. I had to slowly start my transition from my dead name, taking that, morphing it into a nickname, and then making that into my official name now, which is Kaylab.
Alright, so when did you know you were transgender? I'd say about like 5.
I was 5. I definitely knew that something was off. I just didn't know how to explain it to most people.
Every other girl in my class was like, American Girl dolls, Barbies, pink things, and I was like, Nerf guns, snakes, tractors, trucks, blue, like what?
My elementary school, it was my home away from home. It's a place where I learned to learn and also grow as an individual. Kids are meant to get dirty. Kids are meant to have fun. Kids are meant to play, be themselves. There is no dress code. It was a breath of fresh air, and middle school and high school was different. Going back to my elementary school as an alumni, and there's a pride flag for everybody who's included, it brought back this moment of tranquility that I was seen in that moment. Like, not only I was seen, but so many other students were seen, and it was beautiful. Kids going into nursery, and that's the first thing they see when they walk in the door is a pride flag, blew my mind, because that's just like, we see you, like we know you exist, like it doesn't matter, we love you for you. And as an alumni, brings so much joy to my heart to come and find a school where kids climb trees and skin their knees, where laughter is the rule. That's the energy that really hit different when I saw that. Miquan definitely helped me to take the correct steps to become myself and to be free, and to not only enjoy tranquility but also freedom within myself. Certain moments of my life happen where I'm like, this is a pinpoint that I didn't know how to express as a younger child, and now I look and I'm just like, this all lines up and this makes sense, and this is a piece that I can physically see, and not only physically see, but little pieces. I'm like, I can hold this. This is a part of my history. I will always love Miquan for that. There was no judgment. If I wanted to dress one way, act one way, if this is my name this week, then this is my name this week. And if I'm gonna wear one boot and one sock and do this and do whatever, doesn't matter. Realistically, just be yourself. And are you happy? Are you smiling? Are you eating? Are you having a good day? Like, what's going on realistically? And getting my education is obviously a part of it because it's school, but they're also looking out for the children, the people, the individuals, the little humans that are growing on top of that. In elementary school, wear what you want, do whatever you want, like have fun while learning. Middle school and high school is where I lost myself. It became this alter ego of having to pretend to be something that I'm not. When I thought I found myself, and it felt like I was walking on Earth as an alien, is the best way I can describe it. That feeling of tranquility and safety and love and acceptance saved my life, along with people who have been through this journey with me. They have saved my life as well.
Because in my high school, it was like, you're allowed to be your own person.
This is my middle school. This is my high school. Pretty much, the thing that was really difficult for me was having to come out and be accepted by my school. Pronouns were an issue. A name was an issue. Realistically, I was just trying to be myself and trying to educate other people on, like being trans is not an issue. And realistically, it wasn't accepted.
Girls weren't allowed to wear like super short shorts. And I was like, okay, cool. An AE thermal and guys stuff. But because the thermal for men didn't have a collar, it didn't count. So I would get dress coded all the time, and I was like, why am I being dress coded for dressing like a boy when I'm dressing more appropriately than half the girls in my school?
They would tell me that the way that I was dressing was not appropriate. You need to wear a dress. You need to have heels, makeup, and there would be situations where I would get to the school before the event and I would be wearing exactly what they told me, and one person would be like, wow, like you clean up nice. That's a microaggression. And I would come in a suit and like pretty much nothing was said at all. Just a lot of looks and a lot of whispers. And it's just like, I like the whispers more because I don't have to hear it directly to my face, Just like little things like that. Or just having to be told exactly what to wear, even if it's like not the norm for most. It's weird. I don't know. For me personally, like my brain was just like, what did I do wrong? Like, why am I pretty much being made to feel like I'm different than everybody else? Where I felt as though like, hey, like I'm not being seen, was because like I'm a part of a bunch of ads for the school and I'm also not being represented properly by the school. Seeing myself in advertisements felt like an entire lie. Like I pretty much had to fight to smile because the person that I was seeing that was portraying happiness, all of that happiness was fake. It was extremely triggering because I knew for a fact that what I'm seeing isn't actually what's being represented at all, because none of it was real. The school itself definitely did help me with my dyslexia, my ADHD, my dysgraphia, things that I was going through mentally, but emotionally there was no psychological help that actually was going to help me progress in being myself. So I had to do it alone pretty much, and it was very frustrating, and that's where a lot of the frustration stemmed from. It's frustrating when you're in high school and you're going through so many mental changes, physical changes, emotional changes, like you're going through puberty, and realistically when people aren't there to support you and you need that support, it can definitely take a toll on your psyche. Realistically, like they just don't deserve my time. But they did do a lot for me in my education sense, but for my psyche, not so much. I know what I was assigned at birth, but that doesn't align with the way that my mind feels and the way that I physically feel. And I couldn't tell that to other people because I thought that I would be looked at as weird and people just would judge me. So I kind of just hid for a long time and I started masking, and that was really scary, having to lose that part of myself. If I'm either in my room or like just in the kitchen or just hanging out like in the rec room, like I know for a fact like this is a place where I can just like be myself and I'm not gonna be judged for it. I was able to just be Kaylab. which was awesome because I could just, I don't know, play. You know, I could just enjoy being myself. And it's one of those things where it's like growing up as an only child, I didn't really have to worry about, I don't know, judgment. And I didn't have to worry about, you know, what others thought. But when I went to school, then I had to think about, okay, what are people going to think, like, if I wear this one outfit? Or what are people going to think, you know, if I wear something to a certain event or whatever? But when I was alone, it was just me. And I was able to actually feel a sense of happiness, a sense of pride, and feel the level of masculinity that I wanted to feel. And it felt really good. And I was like, wow, like, that's me. And I could see myself in the mirror. I'm like, this is where I want, this is my goal. Like, this is what I want to happen. And I know it's gonna happen. It's just gonna take time. And that's how I learned patience. And it's taken a lot of time and a lot of patience, but it happened. And it still feels like a dream today because I honestly didn't think I would be here. And I'm glad that I am because I had to fight for myself and had to fight for my little self. And I'm glad that I'm here, honestly. Another place that was also a huge safe space was drama club. If I was in drama, then it's like, oh, like, you're gonna wear a dress. I'm wearing a dress because I'm playing a character. I'm not me. If I'm like wearing a suit, then it's like, okay, then I'm doing this character. And it's just like, okay, like, whatever. But like, characters that really stood out for me were playing the Cat in the Hat in Seussical. And the role is written for a cis male. And a masculine character for me, and I felt so comfortable in my body, and I was able to perform, and that was the first time that I had a lead role. Getting applause just for being on stage and people accepting me and understanding, like, okay, like, this is this person and there's no boundaries there. It's just them being themselves, and it felt so good to be free. But the moment that I stepped off stage, I had to mask again, and it terrified me so much because I wasn't able to be myself, and it mentally hurt me for years until I transitioned medically.
With my anxiety, my depression, I started to realize that I wasn't who I was, who I wanted to be. And with that, I was like, I need to come out.
It put me in this state of depression and anxiety because I had to dress one way and I didn't mentally see myself that way at all. It was just hard knowing that I couldn't stop what was happening to me. And it wasn't the fact that, okay, like, this is how your body is supposed to respond at this age. And I got that, but I didn't want that. And I wanted to stop that. And I didn't know what I was going to do. And it put me in a trigger warning. It put me in a really suicidal state. And I was like, there has to be something to stop this, and I don't know what to do. So I had to reach out to my doctors. I had to reach out to multiple other people, and I didn't know if I was going to be the only person who was actually feeling this way, because I was like, what? I had to ask myself, like, what's wrong with me? And there was nothing wrong with me. It's just, I'm born different, and that's fine.
I'm so happy. I've already seen a change in you. Oh my God.
Once, I guess, my facial hair started coming in and stuff, people were giving me a different level of respect. And that to me is crazy. Like, I was like, huh, okay. I was like, so the respect comes with the facial hair. They're like, the face doesn't match the voice, and the voice is like dropping and cracking, and they're like, oh, it has to be about like a teenager or something. I'm just like, no, I'm not a teenager. Like, I'm a whole adult. Like, what? Then it gets to the point of facial hair, and then they're like, oh, we get it now. like, oh, that makes sense. Then the respect was there. And it's just like the body language, the masking, and like reading other people's body language, like how are they gonna read this? Because there would either be like, hi ma'am, hi, oh, come this way, sir, follow me. There's like this immediate switch, immediate. And I'm just like, wow, okay, got it. I'm just like, I'm like, and I tested this theory because there was like this weird gap where like I didn't have like the sideburns and the beard and stuff. And then I just like shaved off like the mustache just to see if there would be any difference. And there was immediately, because people were like, they didn't know, like, they were like it was like a full on stutter. Like they just didn't know like what, they're like, hello. Oh, I had so many people helping me. Yes.
What made it easier was watching people like Parker J, watching my friend Shane, who are both FTM, and they're both amazing people, and I watched their transition, watching them go through it, and I was like, this is what I want to do, this is who I am.
My guardian helped me, family, friends, medical facilities, specifically, shout out to Planned Parenthood, like hardcore shout out to Planned Parenthood. They got me started on HRT.
The thing that made it hard the most was the judgment. Going around not being seen as male, because obviously my voice pre-T doesn't sound as masculine as I'd like it to. And people are like, oh, she's just gay, you know? And it just happens to look more masculine.
Growing up with bodily changes, I didn't actually resonate with those changes. And it scared me. It scared me half to death when everything started to come to its head, and I was like, I can't stop this. And I prayed that my cycle wouldn't come, because I thought that, you know, like there would be an answer for that. And that broke my cycle with my parent, because I really believe, like, I was like, this, I can pray it away, like. And it still happened, and I was so frustrated. And I didn't understand, so I tried to hide it for so long. I didn't know, like, if there was anything that was gonna stop it. And just seeing myself and having a lot of self-hatred was so frustrating and so detrimental to my self-worth. Like, I just wanted to look in the mirror and see somebody that I loved. I had top surgery, and I looked at myself, and I saw myself, and I knew who that was looking back at me. And that feeling is unreal. Like, it's magical, it's beautiful, and it's great. And sometimes it still catches me by surprise, because I'm just like, yeah, no, that's you. It can cause frustration. It can cause questioning as to even, like, it's like, well, why do I feel this way? Why do I want to go through this? And it's just like understanding and knowing why. It's just like, no, I know why I'm doing this. I need to do this for myself. So for me personally, I'm done. I made it, and I'm happy with that. There's two parts to, you know, other people's, you know, situation, and you can look that up online, because I'm not gonna explain it. but there, you know, there's other ways that, you know, people continue their journey. And to those who have done it, congratulations, like, proud of you. Like, it takes time, it takes effort, there's a lot of dangers that go along with it, and realistically, and money, a lot of money, and I'm proud of those people, honestly. There's a lot that goes into it, and I'm done. and I'm happy. I'm happy. So, yeah.
I just want to let you guys know that I love you all so much, and thank you so much for being on this journey with me. And yeah.